of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
From Miller Park, where the Brewers homestand will continue, coming off a 4-game split with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Chicago Cubs come to town, and we have the makings of another good pitching matchup. Jason Hamill on the hill for the Cubbies. Jimmy Nelson gets the call for the Milwaukee Brewers. Good evening from Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert is our reporter tonight. Well, Rock, these two teams just saw each other last week down at Wrigley Field. The Brewers took 2 out of 3. There was timely hitting, but I guess you could say it started and finished with really good pitching from the crew.
Yeah, the starters and relievers, outstanding work at Wrigley Field. I mean, the Cubs, pretty good offensive ball club, but in that series in Chicago, you had Peralta. He pitched very well, lost 1-0, but Fires and Nelson, really good work. The 3 starters combined for 18 2/3 innings. The bullpen went scoreless, did not allow a run against the Cubs. And in those 3 games, pitching staff only walked 8 and struck out 37 batters, and that's what they're going to have to do in this series. The split against the Dodgers, not too bad to work against a team that was pretty good. We got to continue the momentum here on the homestand.
Yeah, the wind was blowing out in those games Saturday and Sunday as well, so just to give you an idea how good that pitching was for the Brewers. Jimmy Nelson, the starter, another rematch for him. I guess he's getting used to that. With more on that, we'll hear from Sophia Minert as we continue on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. The I-94 rivalry returns to Milwaukee for the first time this season. The Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs in Chicago. They look to continue that success here at Miller Park. And for Jimmy Nelson, these are familiar foes. His first 6 starts have come against the same 3 teams back-to-backs against Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and now the Chicago Cubs. This series opener is a rematch of Sunday's series finale. Jimmy Nelson against Jason Hamill. Jimmy Nelson, a quality start for him on Sunday. 6 2/3, 3 runs given up, 6 strikeouts. And Jimmy Nelson spoke with me about this stretch of starts against the division opponents, also facing this young attacking Cubs lineup for the second time.
Stick to my strengths, really, and I've had to do it with my first 4 starts, but those are both back-to-back against the Pirates and then Cincy, so it's the same thing, and it stays fresh on the mind, so I still remember some of the pitches and stuff I made, and just build from it.
Jimmy Nelson and Jason Hamill set to cue up this Brewers and Cubs rivalry here at Miller Park. We'll have first pitch for you coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
First of 3 this weekend at Miller Park. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Cubbies last weekend, and they see them again. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. The roof closed. Been a nice, comfortable day, but a chance of rain tonight. So on the safe side, we'll button it up. And no, we'll have baseball. Brewers and the Chicago Cubs here this evening. Cubbies scuffling a bit. They've lost 5 out of their last 6, including 3 out of 4 in St. Louis. Brewers coming off the 4-game split with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The first 4 games, of course, under the direction of new manager Craig Counsell. As we are about set to go here in the opener of this series. The Cubs, one of just 4 teams in the National League at better than 500. A lot of parity in this league, you could say, as you look at first-year manager Joe Maddon, and now Jimmy Nelson ready to take the mound in yet another rematch. He's gone back-to-back in his starts with the Pirates, the Reds, and now the Chicago Cubs.
Well, and that presents its own series of challenges. And see Joe Maddon, the first-year skipper of the Chicago Cubs, 12 years as a manager. First 11 with the Rays. Good work over the American League.
And here's a look at the Cubs batting order presented by Potawatomi. Dexter Fowler, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, 1-2-3. Miguel Montero hits cleanup. Jorge Soler, Starlin Castro, 5-6. Bottom of the order, Chris Coughlin, Jason Hamill, the pitcher, hits 8th in Madden's lineup, and Addison Russell rounds it out against Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, real good his last time out at Wrigley Field, and no decision in a Brewers 5-3 victory. Pitched into the 7th inning, 6 2/3, 3 runs. It took him 104 pitches to get through it. But back-to-back against this potentially potent lineup, Brewers pitching struck out a lot of Cubs hitters in that 3-game series in Chicago.
Yeah, led by Mike Fiers, and a great bullpen help along the way.
Yeah, let's check out the Brewers Menards defense. Chris Davison left. Gerardo Parra once again in center field. Carlos Gomez gets his 2nd consecutive day off. He's banged up a bit. Ryan Braun in right. Ramirez, Segura, Jeanette, and Linden from 3rd to 1st, and Martin Maldonado behind home plate.
Take a look at your umpires. Bruce Breckman will be calling the balls and strikes here this evening. Tom Halia, the crew chief, over at first. Alfonso Marquez making the calls over at second base. And Dan Molino over at third as we are ready to roll. Brewers and Cubs see each other again after meeting at Wrigley Field last weekend. Some tremendous pitching on the part of the Brewers, timely hitting. The one loss was a 1-0 setback. John Lester was terrific a week ago today.
Yeah, Brewers don't have to deal with him in this series.
No, they do not. So the Cubs will be dealing with Jimmy Nelson again as Dexter Fowler settles in to lead things off, and we are underway at Miller Park. The one really tough outing that Nelson has had this season was, we talk about the back-to-backs he's had, but there's a second start he had against Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. Lasted just 2 1/3 innings in that game, but otherwise he's been pretty good. And here's Fowler with a fly ball hit back into deep right center field, and it's 1-0 Cubs. One thing Brewer pitchers have really struggled with, allowing the long ball, and that's how this game begins tonight.
Now, in that start against the Cubs, Jimmy was able to locate the fastball pretty well. That one over the heart of the plate down in the zone, and Fowler able to turn on it, not known as a home run hitter. His 2nd of the season out there in the Toyota territory.
And here's Chris Bryant. So they've moved him around in the order a bit. Had been hitting cleanup first couple of weeks since being called up, and now hitting in the 2 spot. I'd mentioned Brewer pitchers struggling giving up the long ball, but Nelson a notable exception to that. That's the second one he has given up this season. The other was to the Reds in the start in Cincinnati on April 27th.
Yeah, as a team, 43 home runs allowed for Brewers pitching. That's quite a few at this point in the season.
Bryant, the highly regarded prospect, began his big league career 3 weeks ago tonight with the Cubs. Of enormous power numbers in the minors last year. Big spring training, Cactus League play, homered 9 times, has not gone deep yet as a Cub. It's still a good solid .284 batting average. Very patient at the plate, which is really been something that has defined this team. Always an exception here or there, but the Cubs will take a lot of pitches.
Yeah, already 17 walks for Bryant. He's got a .435 on base percentage, so coming up with a good eye at the plate. Still looking for home run number 1. He's one of those guys that once he gets one, I think he's going to relax, and they're going to come in bunches.
2 balls, 1 strike to Chris Bryant. Brewers kept him quiet, 1 for 10 series last week, and the 6 strikeouts he had. But by all accounts, he is a very level-headed young man with all the hype that is surrounding him. He has handled it as well as you could expect or hope for. And he is a part of what the Cubs fans are hoping is the start of something big for him. A swing and a miss. Struck out 6 times in the series last week. Punched out here to begin the series for him tonight.
Man, that's a good slider that Jimmy Nelson has all of a sudden come up in his last 3 or 4 starts. All of a sudden now again throwing more sliders than curveballs. The curveball in his first couple of starts was his big pitch. And he's found that slider again. That's what the Brewers have been looking for.
So 1 out here in the first inning, and here is Anthony Rizzo. One of the top hitters in the National League through the first month and change of the season. .326 batting average. And an on-base percentage that is 3rd best in the National League at .458. And he shows bunt and fouls it back.
Yeah, late change in the Brewers lineup tonight. It was Aramis Ramirez at third base. You can see Elian Herrera right now playing at second with a shift, but he's going to be your third baseman tonight. No word on what's going on with Aramis.
The batting order is going to shuffle along with it, and we'll let you know more about that when the Brewers come calling in the bottom of the first inning. 2-strike pitch to Rizzo. Mentioned Brewer pitching last week in the bullpen in particular and how effective it was. Rizzo saw that firsthand. Will Smith getting a big punch out of Rizzo in a key situation on Sunday. Game where the Brewers scored a couple of runs in the 8th inning, went on to win 5-3 and take the first winning series of the season for the Crew.
And one of the big reasons that the Brewers were able to win a couple of games because they were able to pretty much control Rizzo. I mean, a couple of hits, a home run, a triple, and that's it. But ordinarily, he's a big part of this offense. He's having a terrific season.
We'll take a look at where he is in on-base percentage. One of the best going right now. Nelson in front, 2 strikes and nothing. Dexter Fowler starts the game with a home run. Bryant strikes out. And now a 1-2 count to Rizzo.
Yeah, Rizzo is pointing to Joe Madden, telling that ball hit him in the foot and wants to go to a replay. So here comes Joe.
Yep.
Right away, Rizzo started to point at his foot, said that ball hit me.
Well, had a couple of replay reviews in the just finished series with the Dodgers.
Well, if it hit his foot, it just grazed the instep barely. I'm not sure why Rizzo would have done that had it not hit him. It looks like it missed him. I'm not sure why he would do that.
Yeah. So they will go ahead and play on. Ball 2 strikes. Right back to Nelson. Handles the comebacker. 2 men out.
He was running pretty good if he said it hit him.
He recovered quickly.
Hit him in the foot, and he was trucking down that line.
Got better fast. So 2 outs in the first for the Cubs. There's Miguel Montero in the leadoff, or the cleanup slot, I should say. Veteran, 9 years with the Diamondbacks. Been an all-star a couple of times, including last year as well as 2011.
Had a pretty good series against the Brewers at Wrigley. Boy, good low ball hitter, Miguel Montero. Get that pitch down and either away or in down the middle. He's going to put a good swing on it.
Well, Montero, if you remember, was catching when Gene Segura took a fastball to the helmet. That Sunday game, in Montero right away motioned over to the Brewers dugout to get some help for the Milwaukee shortstop, who ended up being very, very fortunate in this Monday's game, but has been back out there since.
Yeah. Second time he's been hitting the helmet this year.
Unfortunately, avoided serious injury on both occasions. Very frightening there for a couple 3 minutes last week at Wrigley. 2-strike pitch to Montero.
Wow. Good velocity for Jimmy Nelson at 95, inner half of the plate. Just missed that inside corner.
Cubs getting on the board. A leadoff homer from Dexter Fowler. Nelson trying to finish off the inning. This with a fastball away. That homer for Fowler, by the way, his 10th career leadoff homer. the Astros last season. Prior to that, 6 years with the Rockies. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. So a couple of strikeouts for Nelson. He bounces back after Fowler leads off with a home run. Now the Brewers getting their first hacks. Bat tonight as Craig Counsell, game number 5 for him as the Brewers manager. 2 up and 2 down here so far. Here's the Brewer batting order presented by Potawatomi. Gene Segura, Scooter Gennett, Adam Lind or Brian Braun at the top. Adam Lind hits cleanup, followed by Chris Davis and Gerardo Parra. Martin Maldonado bats 7th. Leon Herrera 8th. Jimmy Nelson rounds it out. Jason Hamill on the mound for the Cubbies.
Jason Hamill has been throwing strikes all season long. Only 2 walks to go with 27 punch-outs. A 2-1 record in start number 6 here tonight. He's 5-0 career against the Brewers, has never lost, and has a .220 earned run average in 7 starts.
Yeah, gave up nothing in his starts here last year. 7 innings both times around and did not give up a run. So Gene Segura leading things off. Again, if you're just checking in, a late switch in the Brewers lineup. Elian Herrera gets the call at third in place of Aramis Ramirez.
And no injury report on Aramis Ramirez. And I'm sure we're going to hear something at some point here. But a very late scratch. He was in the lineup just about up until game time.
0-2 to Segura, who had a 4-hit game last Saturday at Wrigley Field. Ends tonight with a .269 batting average. And a little tapper over to third. That's Bryant quickly on to first. Not in time. Segura beats it out. Leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, you can't teach that. Yeah, Gene Segura on an 0-2 pitch. And it pulls one down the line. Bryant did what he could, tried to get rid of it quickly, but a little bit off the mark, but Segura had it beat anyway. That was a good start to the first inning.
Well, the Brewers in that series had a lot of timely hits, and the Saturday game, the top of the order was really effective. In a Saturday win at Wrigley. Here's Scooter Gennett. After the infield hit from Segura, begins the bottom half of the first. Segura, the one Brewer who has been a genuine threat to steal early this year. 6 steals, as you see there. So it's a team that has not hit well, has not had a lot of occasions to run. He has 6 of the 10 steals that the Brewers have right now. There's a ground ball to third, and that is on to second for 1, to first, a 5-4-3 double play. Around the horn they go, 2 men out. Base is empty for Ryan Braun.
Yep, only the 15th double play, 16th double play turned by the Cubs. You check out how they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menards. 25 errors this season. Second most, second only to the Washington Nationals. Coughlin, Fowler, and Soler in the outfield. A lot of speed out there. Brian Castro, Russell, and Rizzo, and Miguel Montero behind home plate.
There's Ryan Braun. Five homers, 13 RBIs for Braun. And what proved to be the game-winning hit Monday in Craig Counsell's first game as manager, broken bat infield single that scored Carlos Gomez and allowed the Brewers to rally and defeat the LA Dodgers. A game where Clayton Kershaw and crew had a 3-0 lead. Brewers battled back and eventually got the better of Chris Hatcher to win that game. And they split all Dodgers yesterday 14-4. Yasmani Grandal drove in 8 for the Dodgers in that game.
Yeah, how about that?
And it's time for him to move on.
Yeah, he was red hot in that 4-game series. Boy, he's tough to get out. That's a good hitting ball club, those Dodgers. Good to see them leave town.
Yeah, the best home run hitting team in baseball.
Oh, and they can pitch a little bit.
A little bit, especially those top 2 in the rotation. Ryan Braun is aboard. And now here comes one of the hotter hitters going, Adam Lind. See the overall numbers there this season, but he's among the leaders in extra base hits, on base percentage, slugging percentage.
Yeah, giving the Brewers exactly what they were hoping to get, a big bat at first base, but he's been pretty good defensively as well.
For a team searching for consistency on offense, Lind has done his part to give this club just that.
Yeah, very patient at the plate, on base percentage over 400. Just a professional hitter. I mean, that, you know, the definition of that is take what the pitcher gives you. You have a definite job to do every time you go up there, whatever that might be. Don't try and do too much up there.
Jason Hamill with the 1-0, and there it is again, the professional hitter with a base hit to left, and on his way to third goes Ryan Braun. Brewers have him at the corners.
That's what we're talking about, that two-seam fastball going away from him, and didn't try and pull it. You try and pull it, it's going to be an easy ground out. Goes right with it as that ball tails away from him, lets it travel, and puts a nice swing on it. And Ryan Braun going from first to third, so with 2 outs, Brewers have something going. 3 of the 4 batters have reached in this inning.
Yeah, double play took out Segura. Scooter Gennett bouncing into a 5-4-3. So the productivity continues for Adam Lind, and here's Chris Davis, who's trying to get it back. He started well the first couple of weeks, but he has been sliding in badly so of late. Snapped an 0-for-18 run yesterday with a single, but still just 6 for his last 49.
Yeah, just needs to go back to what he did first couple of weeks in the season, trying to hit everything to right field. That's what he did. Had that average up there. All of a sudden tried to start to pull the ball a little bit.
Here's that big cut, has the 1 homer. I remember an interview, showed it on Brewers Live pregame chat that Craig Kashawn had with Davis, and he says one of the first things I like to do is find right field, and he was finding it regularly. But you're right, I mean, he's trying to turn on pitches and drive it over the left field wall, and he's coming up empty. 0-2 the count. There it is, back up the middle, base hit for Davis. That will score Braun, and just like that, the Brewers tie it.
Yep, hung a curveball on 0-2. Well, good for Chris Davis. That's what he needs to do more of, and just stay back. He didn't jump at the baseball, didn't try and pull it, and drove in a run. Well, the Brewers with 3 consecutive base runners with 2 outs. able to tie her up.
So the Brewers have accomplished in the first inning tonight what they were unable to accomplish against Jason Hammel last year in 2 starts, late April and late May, when he did not give up a run. But the Brewers scratch here in the first, and now Gerardo Parra. He's been able to hit Hammel pretty well when he's faced him. Breaking ball in there for strike 1. See, he had a good weekend in Chicago. 4 for 7.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, in a kind of a utility role, you fill him in. He's been swinging a bat and about as good as it gets defensively. Carlos Gomez a little banged up, back-to-back days off. Talking to Craig Counsell about that. Maybe tomorrow, definitely Sunday, back in the lineup for Carlos Gomez.
So Parra gets the call tonight. Hammel ready with the 1-1. And there's a base hit to left. Lind rounding third, coming home. Here's the throw, and Lind is out, and easily so. Coghlan guns him down at the plate. Take a chance at 2 outs, but the Brewers are able to tie the game 3-1 here in Milwaukee.
Hotel and casino. We are even at 1 as we head to the top of the second, and Jimmy Nelson making his 6th start of the season, but an unusual start for him in that his first 6 starts have come against the same 3 teams, all back-to-back starts against the Pirates, Reds, and now the Cubs. He saw them Sunday, and Craig Counsell said about the way the schedule has played out for Jimmy, he said, look, it's not the way that pitchers prefer it, but he said sometimes with the unbalanced schedule, you'll go through a run like this, and he said for the pitchers, it's all about doing what you're good at. He said you shouldn't make adjustments to the other team. You need to stick to your strengths. He also said it comes down to execution. He said extra base hits are not ones that are hit on the edge of the strike zone. It's mistakes that happen over the middle of the plate. So he said executed pitches will win out over a game plan anytime. Nelson looking to do those 2 things here tonight.
Yeah, Sophia, Craig Counsell very consistent about that, as I think everybody who follows this club, watches this team, he says it's about the execution. That means everything.
He's got good velocity tonight. He's got the slider working well so far. Haven't seen too many of the curveballs. You know, when he's got that good slider going, Matt, I mean, he really doesn't have to do much else. I mean, when you're throwing 95, 96 with that power sinker and the good slider, you don't have to mess around too much.
No, you're right. He becomes a very, very difficult pitcher to deal with when he has that going. Ball 2 strikes to Jorge Soler. Down he goes.
That's that power sinker we're talking about. Good movement on it. When he gets on top of that pitch, that two-seamer. And watch the way he gets on top of it. He's going to get some downward movement on it as it gets to home plate. Not only does it move left to right, but it goes down. When he gets on the side of it, it becomes more of a tailing fastball, and that's when they normally get hit.
3 strikeouts early on for Jimmy Nelson. Oh, here's Starlin Castro. 295 average for the Cubs shortstop.
The Cubs lead the National League in strikeouts, and in large part, one of the reasons was that series against the Brewers. They punched out a lot, 37 times in those 3 games.
Hopped out of play. 2 strikes and nothing to Castro. All the young players on this Cubs roster, you might think that Castro is in his late 20s, but he's only 25. 3-time All-Star. Led the National League in hits 4 years ago. But the new group is coming up. So Castro, the veteran of the bunch, on that Cubs infield. Brewers have faced the contrast. The Dodgers with a ton of experience more often than not when Don Mattingly makes out his lineup card. Much different story here with the Cubbies. 1-2 pitch, and that is off the bat. Self-defense there, leaning back, but foul ball.
Yeah, up and in, look out. Did he get the hand or not? I guess not. Castro's not saying anything. Off the knob of the bat.
A ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out swinging. 4 of the 5 Cubs retired via the strikeout for Nelson.
That's a nasty slider at 88 miles an hour. Here it is. Jimmy's got a good one going tonight. Going down and away, and Castro just waves at it.
Chris Coughlin. It's calling left field tonight. See what he did last weekend, just a hit in 9 trips. He is 4 for 9 against Nelson when he has faced him, including a home run. Both teams putting a run on the board in the first. And Nelson continues to work ahead. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, just showing more and more confidence every time he goes out there on the mound. I mean, his starts have been excellent except for the one. 4 of the 5 have been very good for Jimmy. And looks like he has pretty good stuff tonight.
Looking to even his record. He is 1-2. 2-strike pitch coming. Inning over. Nelson strikes out the side. 5 early Ks for the Brewers starter. As he rings up in order, Soler, Castro, and then Chris Coughlin. To the bottom of the 2nd we go in Milwaukee. At Miller Park. Time now to look at our DraftKings players to watch for tonight. See what Ryan Braun has done against the Cubs, what Anthony Rizzo has done lately. Check out Giancarlo Stanton, 29 RBIs already, and Mike Trout. You always want to see him if you get a chance. He'll give you something to remember.
Anybody better in baseball than that guy? I mean, really?
No. It was watch shows in the off season, and people would throw McCutcheon's name out there, Andrew McCutcheon. He's probably top 5, I think you could say. But Mike Trout,
yeah, he's something.
Yeah, it seems every time you watch him,
batting average, speed, home runs, defense, throwing arm. Yep.
And his career really still just beginning, you could say. Martin Maldonado. So they had a chance to get a breather yesterday. Juan Centeno started behind the plate, but since the Jonathan Lucroy injury, this is now Maldonado's 15th start over the last 17.
Yeah, he's only not started 2 of those games since Lucroy's been on the DL.
And Maldonado takes a called third strike.
Now Hamill's got a good curveball, and he was not afraid to use it. There's that cut fastball right on the edge, and Bruce Dreckman rings it up. I'm sure Martin taking on some. I'm going to make sure I mention to him we get that pitch too.
So if you're going to call that on me, you got to make sure you call that on them.
Yeah, both sides, both ways.
Here's Elian Herrera. He gets the start at third. A late scratch was Aramis Ramirez. There's a ground ball to second. Addison Russell gobbles it up. 2 outs.
Still no word on Aramis Ramirez. That was a very late scratch, about as late as it gets. Of course, it was very late. I don't know when he was actually scratching the clubhouse, but we didn't get word until we saw Herrera out at third base.
Seen Herrera a lot at second here in the first 5 weeks of the season, but over at third tonight. Here's Jimmy Nelson. The one hit he has this season was last week. Doubled at Wrigley.
And he smoked it into the gap, didn't he? I mean, he hit that ball hard. Wasn't one of those flares over the first baseman's head. I mean, we got to make sure we mention that. That ball was hit well.
He stung it. 2-strike pitch. Yeah, we've seen some pitchers showing ability with the bat last week and a half or so. And Nelson last year had a double off Clayton Kershaw. And no, that's not why he's here. That's what he does on the mound.
Right.
Always fun when a pitcher can make a little contact and have something to show for it. 2-2 pitch.
Making him work.
From 0-2 to 3-2. And inning over. A called third strike for Nelson. A 1-2-3 inning for Hamill. Through 2, tied at 1. Another look presented by Columbia St. Mary's. It was a rough day overall for the Brewers, but a rarity at Miller Park as Mike Fiers with an immaculate inning. What's that? That's when you get 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches, and that was exactly what happened yesterday afternoon. He struck out Enrique Hernandez, Carlos Frias, and Jock Peterson. 3 pitches each hitter. It is the 79th time in big league history that has happened.
And last time it happened for the Brewers was Rick Helling did it. Not sure what year it was, but
06.
Yeah, Helling was here in 05 and 06.
Yeah.
06 was it?
Yeah. June 20th, 2006. Jason Hamill leads off the top of the 3rd inning. And there's a base hit for him, and he's been hitting it well. That is his 5th knock in 14 at-bats.
Pretty good about making contact, too, right?
Yeah, nice and easy.
Hasn't punched out yet. That's pretty good for a pitcher. 15 at-bats with no strikeouts.
That's outstanding.
That is good.
Pretty good for anybody. Your first 15 at-bats without a punch-out. Here's Addison Russell, the youngest player in the major leagues. He is 21 years old and 105 days to be exact. Another one of those very highly touted players. He actually came over last July when the Cubs dealt Jason Hamill and Jeff Samardzija to the Oakland A's. Here's a fly ball into center field. Gerardo Parra will squeeze it. 1 out. Yeah, back to the immaculate innings. Glancing at a story from Todd Rosiak of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. If Mike Fiers really wants to impress the crowd, he'll do it again. 4 pitchers have done it multiple times. And those 4, just looking at Todd's story, Lefty Grove, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan, and Randy Johnson. It'd be a good list if we can do it again.
None of those are a surprise.
No. Fiers after the game, when reporters were talking to him, didn't have a whole lot of interest. It didn't sound like in getting into it. Disappointed in the outing.
Yeah, no kidding.
General. Yeah, he pitched so well at Wrigley Field last weekend, but just didn't have it on a day where the Dodgers were on again offensively. A powerful team with the bats, as everybody knows. Yasmani Grandal had a career day.
Yeah, 8 RBIs. Not bad. That's not a bad week.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great week. And an even greater day. Homered twice. Dexter Fowler, who led off the game with the home run, rolls one over. Adam Lind will flip to Segura for the force. And there are 2 men out.
Hey, the Brewers continue their weekend series with these Cubs tomorrow at 6 o'clock and Sunday at 1. Then the Southsiders come to town Monday through Wednesday as the White Sox make their first trip to Miller Park in 6 years. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Remember, Monday's game, first pitch 6:20 here at Miller Park. 6:20 for the Brewers and the White Sox. By the way, their game with Cincinnati was postponed tonight. Choppy weather, much of the country, much of the Midwest, including Chicago. Nelson checking Dexter Fowler, who is definitely a threat to go. He is 7 of 8 so far this year in stolen base tries.
So Jimmy's got to try and keep him close, give Maldonado a chance to throw him out. Sometimes it takes Jimmy a little while to get rid of it. You get that leg kick like that, gives a base runner a head start.
The Pirates have been the one team that took advantage of that a little bit, and that was the second outing that Nelson had against Pittsburgh, the one at PNC. They're able to get their running game going. The 1-0 pitch to Chris Bryant.
Another good low ball hitter, Chris Bryant. You get it up around the belt with something on it. Tough to get to. But that good slider that Jimmy's been throwing is a good pitch to this guy. It's a good pitch to any hitter the way he's been throwing it.
5 strikeouts already for Nelson. Struck out the side in the second. Bryant has had a world of trouble here against Brewers pitching. 1 for 10 last week. Struck out his first trip here tonight.
You're knocking on wood when you say that?
Yes, hard. He will strike out, but the power numbers that he had in the minor leagues and even in the Cactus League, it's that all right. Runner goes, doesn't matter. Bryant strikes out again. And Nelson has punched out 6. To the bottom of the third we go.
Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. The top of the order for the Brewers without Carlos Gomez for a second straight day. He is out tonight with what Craig Counsell called a very mild strained right hip flexor. That's the same leg as the hamstring injury that kept him on the disabled list. And Counsell said this is just precautionary. He should be available this weekend. He said he would do everything on the field earlier this afternoon. And, you know, just because of the hamstring injury and as much as Gomez uses his legs, he said no question we need to be careful with him because the long-term health of Gomez is very important for this team, and so they're being precautious with him here tonight.
All right, Sophia, thanks much as Gene Segura starts the third with a fly ball to Dexter Fowler, out number 1.
Yeah, sometimes a manager has to protect the player from himself, and you know that Carlos Gomez only knows one way, that's 1,000%, and you just don't want him hurting himself and having to put him on the DL again.
Scooter Gennett get into a double play in the first inning. Take a look at Scooter, his first week back, coming off the DL, and hit his first home run of the season Wednesday night against the Dodgers. Brewers really flexed their muscles in that first inning, scoring 5 times off of Joe Whelan, making his Dodger debut. And that inning held up as the Brewers ended up splitting the series. But figure, Rock, if they could get Scooter in that lineup on a regular basis, get that bat going the way he and this ball club believes it can get going, be a big plus for this club.
Yeah, a guy that normally is around the 300 mark is starting to head north a little bit at 220, but still way below what the Brewers expect.
2 men out. Addison Russell handles the ground ball, and here comes Ryan Braun. Braun walked, scored the Brewers 1 run here so far tonight, back in the first inning. It's 5 for 16 against Hamill. He has had some success against him. 5 home runs represent his 5 extra base hits to this point of the year. He's heating up on that last road trip. Hoping to get it cranked up here again.
Yeah, Jason Hamill with only 2 walks coming in, walked Braun on 4 pitches, and really doesn't look like he wants to mess around with him too much.
Hamill 2-1 coming into this game, a 3.73 ERA. Mentioned he was part of that trade from the Cubs to the A's last year. He was having a very good year for the Cubbies, was Hamill. Had a sub-3 ERA going, but it went up by more than a run in Oakland, and he was very vulnerable to giving up the homer. About 40 fewer innings with the A's, he gave up 3 more homers than he did in his time with the Cubs. And now Ryan Braun draws his second walk. Let's get an update. Check in with Sophia. Find out maybe what's up with Aramis Ramirez here tonight.
Yeah, Matt, Aramis Ramirez was a late scratch tonight with lower back tightness coming from the Brewers clubhouse. So again, lower back tightness for Rami, and we'll see what Craig Counsell has to say after the game for his availability the rest of the weekend.
Man, that's why, you know, the Brewers have felt, even in spring training, there was some talk that they were going to have to be very careful with Ramirez in the final year of his career. He's already said he's going to retire, so you got to be very careful how much you play Ramirez. You want him on the field because he's starting to swing the bat pretty well.
Here's Adam Lind, who has been swinging the bat well through the first 5 weeks, but he lifts one into shallow center, and Dexter Fowler will make the grab, and that's it for the Brewers. We're through 3, tied at 1.
And this Sunday, the Brewers close out the series against the Cubs. All fans at Miller Park will get a collectible Mother's Day bobble hank. That's courtesy of Pick and Save. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com.
Anthony Rizzo leads off the top of the 4th for the Cubbies.
That's a nice bobblehead.
That's impressive.
Bobble hank.
Sunday.
Immortalized with a bobblehead. Got the pink for Mom. Mother's Day on it, 2015.
Looking good. Make sure you're here. Be a good crowd all weekend long as Rizzo launches one deep to right. No doubt about it. Home run for Anthony Rizzo. Jimmy Nelson had been good in avoiding the home run ball, but a couple of them tonight.
Yep, 3 hits allowed and 2 of them home runs. I mean, that's definitely a mistake right down the middle. And Anthony Rizzo about as good as it gets. He's been hot all year. Second deck out and right.
Number 6 for Rizzo. Here's Miguel Montero. And there's a liner, and that's a fair ball down the line. And the Cubs catcher with a big turn on his way to second, and Herrera's throw will be cut off. And it's a double for Miguel Montero. So the Cub bats coming to life.
Yep, right off the end of the bat, we've seen him cover the plate pretty well. He had a couple of hits like that at Wrigley Field, at a foot inside that left field line. You get that baseball down to Montero, it doesn't matter where it is on the plate. He's going to give it a pretty good swing.
Here's Jorge Soler. Led off the second with a strikeout. Nelson struck out the side in inning number 2.
Yeah, Soler was at the top part of the order in Wrigley Field. He actually led off one game.
Yeah, they have played mix and match with their lineup. Joe Madden, as part of the book on him, he will shuffle the deck.
The book on him is that he goes against the book.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in the book.
Or as you said last week, he just writes his own version.
Yeah, he's got his own version of the book, so to speak.
Yes, Chris Bryant hitting second. He was hitting cleanup most of the time. They've had him at third in the order, and tonight he's second.
Yeah, the book meaning conventional ways to do everything. I mean, what everybody usually does, and Joe Madden does not subscribe to that.
Watched his team drop 3 out of 4 to the Cardinals. Mike Matheny's team has opened up a sizable lead in the Central. They're having a terrific start at 21-7. The Cubs at 14-13. They're in second place, but 6.5 back.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that only 4 teams in the National League over 500.
Yeah, it's the Cubs they're the one team not in first in any of the divisions above 500.
Wow.
I mean, we've talked about, there's a fly ball hit back into center field. Parra going back. He is at the wall, and that's gone. Soler a 2-run blast. The Cubs bringing their grown man bats to Miller Park tonight.
Yeah, as good as Jimmy Nelson was at Wrigley Field, he's making some mistakes tonight, and the Cubs making him pay. Check it out. Out over the plate, down in the zone, and Jorge Soler, about as strong as it gets up there at the plate, muscles that one out of here. And way back in the center field off of the concourse out there.
That's some of that power that Soler was showing when he was called up last season, when he homered 5 times in 24 games. His third big fly here in 2015. Starlin Castro. Swing and a miss.
All the mistakes on fastballs in this inning. There's that slider.
Quickly 2 strikes and nothing. Castro struck out in the second. Jimmy Nelson trying to settle things down a little bit. When we talk about the records, going into the season, I think it was fair to say that maybe there's not a great team in baseball. The Cardinals at 21-7 are off to a terrific start. It's got a 9-win homestand. Yeah, the Mets and the Dodgers leading the East and West respectively at 18-10. They used to have a cluster of teams that are at 500, or in the case of the Cubs, a game better, a couple of teams a game or 2 below. It sets up for a pretty good chase for those 2 wild card spots, not to mention division championships. Remember, 88 wins was good enough for the Giants.
Yeah. Well, what you try to do, I mean, before you start getting things in order, you try and stay as close to 500 as you can. The Brewers have a long way to go to get there. If you stay close, you give yourself a shot about mid-August, see where you're at, and then go on a nice run. You never know what can happen. Brewers right now 11 games under 500.
Two balls, two strikes to Starling Castro. They're just trying to stabilize here, build a little bit of momentum. You get a split with a team like the Dodgers, and obviously when you win 2 of the first 3, you want to be able to get that third one. But LA brought the big bats yesterday. You're playing a team you just beat 2 out of 3. Step at a time here. Castro strikes out for the second time tonight.
Yep, on the slider. Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, 10-Point Bar and Grill and Tomahawk. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Or that good crowd here at Miller Park tonight. Always lively when the Brewers and Cubs have at it.
Yep. Beer pen's full. The Miller Lite deck is full.
Yes, sir.
It's baseball weather.
It is.
Around the 80s today.
Yeah, a little
79 to 80 at my house.
A little humidity in the air, and I heard no one complain about that.
Nice.
It felt good. Coughlin, one of the 7 strikeout victims for Jimmy Nelson so far tonight. This with a curve. Home run power for the Cubs. Dexter Fowler in the first, Anthony Rizzo and Jorge Soler here in the fourth. In the air to center, Gerardo Parra. This will be routine. Out number 2. He'll face his counterpart. Get in the Cubs order. Pitchers hit 8th. There you see the numbers on Hamill. He has 5 hits already. The RBI was a sacked fly last weekend against the Brewers. And that's Elian Herrera over at third, place of Ramirez.
Yeah, so Ramirez in the dugout a couple of minutes ago. It's a good sign. He's not too serious.
There he is. Sophia telling us little lower back stiffness. So not in the lineup tonight. In the course of a long season, you want to be careful, especially with a veteran like Ramirez, and they've talked about that all along here, that there will be scheduled days off. This may be a little different tonight, but Craig Counsell talking about Carlos Gomez before the game. Just go easy, make sure when he's back he can stay back. The strikeout ends the inning, but the Cubs have a 4-1 lead. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Home run power helps the Cubs to a 4-1 lead. Brewers coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Davis, Parra, and Maldonado to face Jason Hamill. Davis, an RBI single. First inning. Clearly, that's the hope of a turn in his fortunes at the plate. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. You mentioned the hitting struggles that Chris Davis has gone through, but that RBI knock brought Brian Braun to the plate and tied the game in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Yeah, that was on an 0-2 curveball from Hamill. And good sign when Davis starts to do that.
Doesn't mess around this time on 0-2. Down goes Davis, out number 1. Here's Gerardo Parra. Been terrific well, he's been good in multiple areas. Terrific at times defensively, as people know. Gold Glove good, and as a pinch hitter has been big time here in the last week or so.
Well, you got 4 outfielders that the Brewers have that you don't mind putting in there at any time. So Parra filling in for Gomez. You get another left-handed bat in the lineup. And you don't hurt yourself too much defensively either.
The pinch hit streak he had going, 4 straight knocks, 2 doubles and a triple included in that run. Hamill ready with the 2-1. It's Castro behind the bag. 2 outs. Hamill, after giving up that run in the 1st, has settled. Since then has only allowed a walk to Braun in the 3rd.
Yeah, 4 hits in the 1st inning, all singles and a walk. But the Brewers only able to muster 1 run. That was because of that double play. Base hit by Segura. Jeanette grounded into a double play, and then the next 4 batters reached. Inning ended with Linden being thrown out at home plate.
Martin Maldonado. 2 outs and the base is empty. Jason Hamill 5-0 in his career against the Brewers. Did not allow a run in his 2 starts here last year. Had a no decision, as did Nelson in their matchup last weekend in Chicago. And Maldonado draws a 4-pitch walk.
3 walks given up by Hamill. He came in, only walked 2. I think he's been pitching around Ryan Braun all night. But he walks Maldonado with 2 outs and nobody on.
Cub pitching in general has been good at not issuing walks. For every walk they allow as a staff. Good 4 strikeouts. Here's Elian Herrera. Grounded to Russell at second. His first trip to the plate. Nine starts this year for Herrera at second, but because of the late scratch of Aramis Ramirez, Herrera gets the call at third tonight.
They're trying to get another left-handed bat in that lineup against Hamill. Hector Gomez has been swinging a pretty good bat. I'd like to get a few more lefties in that lineup against Hamill.
What a night it was for Gomez on Monday against the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. 2-strike pitch. These teams met last week. The Cubs were on a pretty good little run. They had won 5 of 6, but now they come to town having dropped 5 of 6. But showing home run power are the Cubs so far tonight. So carry out a play. Count remains a ball, 2 strikes to Herrera. Back at it tomorrow night and then Sunday afternoon.
Yep, 6 o'clock start tomorrow and then 1:10 on Sunday on Mother's Day.
Good crowds all weekend long here, and the White Sox will come to town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Monday's game starts at 6:20. Hamill ready with a 1-2. Down goes Herrera, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 4th. We are through 4 at Miller Park with the Cubs up 4-1.
Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, the Cubs with a 4-1 lead as we head to the 5th, and you can join Brewers pitcher Matt Garza and his teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon on Sunday, July 19th. You can enjoy a VIP reception, silent auction, and of course bowling with Brewers players while raising money for the Sojourner Family Peace Center, a safe haven for abused women and children. For more information, please visit brewers.com/beyondthediamond, or you can call 414-902-4532.
All right, Sophia, thank you much. 9-1-2 here for the Cubs. Addison Russell leading things off. Second baseman, but he is, by his natural ability, more of a shortstop. That's really, because that's the position of choice for him in his career. His last 5 games at AAA before he was called up, moved over to second, and that's where he is right now. Starlin Castro, of course, their shortstop.
Yeah, shortstop's taken. You got to be flexible.
Yes.
I don't see Castro going anywhere anytime soon.
A terrific athlete, Russell. Homered against the Brewers. He was the difference in the game last Friday. John Lester and company shutting out the crew.
Yep, a solo home run off of Willie.
Yeah, Willie Peralta was otherwise terrific in that game. Gave up just a run in 6 innings. Quite the pitcher's duel at Wrigley. There's Willie. It's pretty good on Wednesday night, as a matter of fact, against the Dodgers. A 6-3 win. Got run support 5-run first, had it hold up. 8 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Russell.
Brewers are excited about, long term about Jimmy Nelson and Willie Peralta, a couple of power arms in that rotation. Matt Garza signed for another couple of years.
In case of Nelson and Peralta, you're talking about a couple of guys in their mid-20s. Strike 3 swinging. Out number 1 here in the 5th. Time now for our CarSoup.com trivia question. Tonight, which 3 current Brewers also played for the Chicago Cubs? Hint, 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 hint. Which 3 current Brewers also played for the Chicago Cubs? We like to help you out, sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtle.
I don't know. I don't think it's that easy.
I don't give the whole answer. Just,
Right.
Just a little help here and there. Dexter Fowler started the game with a home run to right center. Jimmy Nelson has allowed 3 here in this game. Fowler in the first, Rizzo and Soler in the 4th.
That's a good slider. He's got a good one tonight. The mistakes that he's made have come on the fastball.
2 strikes and nothing to Dexter Fowler. Right back at it. Nelson with 9 strikeouts already. Here we are in the 5th inning. And he and the Brewers are behind. Here comes the 1-2. Another strikeout for Nelson. A 10 strikeout game, a first for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, we're only in the 5th inning. He is mowing them down, but they've struck out a lot, but they've hit the 3 home runs. So it's all or nothing for this Cubs offense so far. Blows them away with a fastball that time.
Now he'll face Chris Bryant. Bryant has struck out a couple of times so far. Good story on him in this week's Sports Illustrated. His father, a hitting instructor, old school guy, not much into the bat flips, I guess. So if Bryant ever got overly demonstrative on the field,
good word.
The old, yeah, I had to say that slowly.
Nice.
If he got cocky and it showed on the field, his old man would text the manager, says, "Get my son out of there."
That's what I would have said.
You and Mr. Bryant would get along just fine.
That's right.
4-1 Cubs. Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Bottom of the fifth at Miller Park as the Cubs lead the Brewers 4-1. Jimmy Nelson, who has struck out 10 but has given up 3 homers, will lead off the bottom half of the inning for the Crew. Jason Hamill in good rhythm, has not allowed a hit since the first. The Brewers scoring a run on 4 hits in that first inning, but since has only given up walks to Ryan Braun and Martin Maldonado. Nelson just does get a piece. Nelson came into tonight's game having allowed just 1 home run, but the Cubs have gotten to him 3 times so far. And he strikes out to begin the 5th.
Hey, at Miller Park, every Monday is a Miller Highlight Monday. Terrace Reserve tickets are just $9, or just start at $9 for all Monday home games, including this Monday as the Brewers host the White Sox. For tickets, visit brewers.com/highlight. Tickets are just $9 for all Monday home games. I need to do that over. Maybe later in the game I'll try that one again.
Take 2. I've had a few hundred of those in my time.
You know,
it happens. It's all live. Here's Gene Segura. Come over here, you know you'll play. White Sox rained out tonight. Game of Cincinnati. Joey Votto, by the way, who was involved in a little controversy on Wednesday, argued with the
bumped the umpire. Yeah, he can't do that.
Got a 1-game suspension.
That's it.
That's it. And that's the reaction a lot of folks had.
Yeah, I mean, you start touching umpires, bumping into them when you're arguing. I mean, I think that's more than 1 game.
He was very apologetic. He said after the game, "You can't. What I did, you can't do." It's one thing to be verbal. It's another, you can't get physical. But I think a lot of folks would come away thinking that Joey Votto was very fortunate to get just 1 game. Segura strikes out swinging. Back-to-back Ks for Jason Hamill here in the 5th.
Now you start making physical contact with umpires, that's setting a bad precedent. And when you do, you only get 1 game. I don't know.
Yeah, there were many who figured it would be multiple, maybe 5, but just 1.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Be upfront about it. Say you're at fault right away. I guess that doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Own it, right?
Yeah. And Votto did.
Yeah.
There's Scooter Gennett looking for his first hit tonight. His first week back after being on the DL with the cut in his hand.
There's 16 punch-outs between the 2 teams already tonight. It's only the 5th inning.
Yeah, it's like Wrigley Field.
Right.
Similar to that series down there. Brewers a run on 4 hits. The Cubs 4 runs on 5. Gennett with a line drive to right. Right to Soler, and it's easy work for Hamill in the 5th. Cubs still lead 4-1. Miller Park. Hey, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader of divisional rivalries, beginning with the Royals taking on the Tigers, and then it's the Braves against the Nationals. Coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Central on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Nationals, another one of those teams that is a little up and down, 14 and 15.
They've won 7 out of 10. They're starting to play a little bit better.
Heating up.
Their defense has been real shoddy this year. Most errors in the National League so far.
That's a club with that pitching staff alone. The expectations are very high. Anthony Rizzo leading off here for the Cubs. He homered to start the fourth. This is how it looked. Number 6 on the season for the Cubs first baseman.
All 3 home runs have come on fastballs from Jimmy Nelson. Cubs haven't been able to touch that slider yet.
0-2 the count. Nelson with 10 strikeouts already. Bouncing ball, tough chance. Second. Well, that was Herrera actually over there making the play.
Yeah, that's a
out
beauty.
on the shift.
That's going to go down as a 5-3 put out.
Yep.
On a baseball in the right up the middle. I like that defensive alignment.
Yes, sir.
When you do that, you only get one guy out of position. And Herrera is very comfortable at second base, so that's why he's able to make that play. I would imagine a third baseman that plays strictly at third base would have a difficult time making that throw.
Yeah, the beauty of the defensive shifts. Here's Miguel Montero. Montero followed Rizzo's homer with a double. Dropped it just inside the line down and left. Curve missing. 1-1. Herrera in there tonight is a late scratch. There's Aramis Ramirez. There's some lower back stiffness for Ramirez, so Herrera gets the call. Two balls, one strike to Miguel Montero. First year with the Cubs after 9 with the Diamondbacks.
He's always been able to hit. Hangs in there against left-handed pitching. You got 3 catchers on this roster. You got David Ross, who catches John Lester every one of his starts, and then Wellington Castillo.
Nelson with a 2-2.
See, Maldonado wanted that fastball up because he knows that Montero can hammer that low fastball. Most left-handers like it down there.
Count full to the Cubs catcher. Nelson has yet to walk a hitter until now as he misses away.
Yeah, threw the curveball.
One out, one on for the Cubs here in inning number 6. Now Nelson will square off with Jorge Soler, who hit a 2-run homer in the 4th. So we're getting to that stage where it's important for Nelson to get through this inning. Keep his team within 3. Soft liner, Jeanette there as he was shifted. 2 men out.
Yeah, just ate him up inside. Well, it's all about location for any pitcher, and even guys that can get it up there in the mid-90s. Got that one in on his hands, and Jeanette, having to come in because Nelson able to bust him inside on the knuckles. Good pitch. Home run pitch that he hit was out over the plate.
2 outs with Montero, the runner at first for Starlin Castro. So Nelson has struck out 10. He's gotten Castro twice. Castro last year hit .292, showed a little bit of power at times with 14 homers. Can make the highlight play short, but he can airmail a few more routine type of plays.
Yeah, we saw that at Wrigley Field.
We did. Yeah, we saw Logan Schaefer hit the Little League home run and the play with 2 errors, a routine grounder that was airmailed to Anthony Rizzo, and then Rizzo froze up, maybe thinking the ball was dead, but it was not, and then threw over to nobody over at third. It was really a complete breakdown on the part of the Cubs infield, and Schaefer kept running, took it all the way around.
Not a bad 0 for 1.
The greatest 0 for 1 ever.
Reach on an air and end up scoring.
2 balls, 1 strike to Castro. Out in front.
Yeah, Castro hadn't been able to figure that pitch out yet tonight. Only takes 1 though with a guy like him.
Castro has driven in 17. The 2-2. Stays in there. This Cubs team at 14 and 13. They had a good month of April, their best April since 2008. Team that went through what amounted to a nearly total teardown, and now with the young talent, team they could just try to be a little loose out there. Expectations maybe a little bit more on the modest side this year. Runner goes, pitch is popped up, and Segura will handle it. And a good 6th for Jimmy Nelson to walk, and that's it. Brewers still down by 3.
We're going to do a promo for the day that producer Brad Weimer can't wait for. The Brewers battle the dark side Saturday, May 30th at 3 o'clock as the Diamondbacks come to town for the first ever Star Wars night at Miller Park. To reserve your spot at Star Wars night, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com today. You know, we're not even doing that game. That's on Fox Sports 1.
Is that right?
And but he's going to be here anyway, dressed in his Darth Vader outfit. And
I don't know if I have ever met a bigger Star Wars fan than Brad Wyman.
I'm assuming it's going to be Darth Vader and not Princess Leia, but we'll see.
We'll get a full report.
Maybe we don't want to see. He's already fired up down there.
He knows his Star Wars material. Ryan Braun. And that almost got him. You and I are probably 2 people out of 5 who are not. We know a little bit about Star Wars,
I've seen it once,
but yeah,
you know,
but not that aficionado.
Right. It's a good movie.
There are a lot of Brad Weimers out there who know a lot about
of them, haven't there?
There have been multiple Star Wars motion pictures. How many exactly, I don't know, but there have been multiple. 1-2 the count to Ryan Braun.
We were in Arizona last year for Star Wars night. I think it was Arizona.
Cincinnati for sure.
Cincinnati, was it?
But you guys, when on your Arizona trip, quite possibly. Cincinnati for sure. Yeah, a lot of Brewer players are having fun.
Yeah, you're right. It was Cincinnati.
Braun has walked twice tonight. And he takes a look at a called 3rd strike here in the 6th. So a combined 17 strikeouts tonight. 7 for Hamill, 10 for Nelson.
Yeah, first time that Hamill's actually thrown Braun strikes, and he puts one right on the corner.
And here's a T-Mobile game changer, and it's Adam Lind. And yeah, he is a game changer. What he has done with his new club. D. Gordon having a terrific start. Adam Lind, though, at worst steady, and that really is not a good enough word. He's been better than steady. He's been really good.
Yeah, he has. He's been everything the Brewers hoped he would be.
Singleton scored in the 1st. This one in the air, shallow left, and that'll be Chris Coughlin making the catch, and quickly there are 2 men out.
You know what made me think about the Diamondbacks and Star Wars night? Because I remember seeing video of Bob Brenly dressed up as Chewbacca. Chewbacca, is it?
Chewbacca.
You know, the hairy guy.
Yeah, right.
You know, he did his open dressed like that. That's what made me think of the Diamondbacks.
And had you been working, which this will be on Fox Sports 1, you would have been inspired to the point where, no?
I would have played along, but I wouldn't have dressed up. I don't go that far.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't think so, but I thought I'd throw it out.
Besides, you know, I sweat a lot. Can you imagine?
Chris Davis with a fly ball down the line and right up against the side wall. Did he? Nope, ran out of room. Soler giving it a go, but into the seats it goes. I'm distracted by the thought of you even considering.
No, I'm not.
You would not. Okay.
No.
All right.
Make that clear.
Joe Madden out of the dugout. Had a little visit with home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman. I don't think there was any interference over there.
I don't think you can. No. Can you review interference? You can't review interference on the field.
No.
I'm not sure if you can review it. Interference from a fan reaching out onto the field.
Yeah, actually, they could, but they will play on. Pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, fan interference is reviewable, right?
Yes.
Interference on the field, though, is not.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah. A ball, a strike. Davis, an RBI single in the 1st. Just trying to get things back in gear. His average at 215. RBI single on the first, struck out in the fourth. The Brewers have not had a hit since the first.
Yeah, the only two batters to reach since the first are two walks.
Braun and Maldonado. Some carry out of play. A full count to Chris Davis. And a 1 run scored by Braun. I may have said a couple of minutes ago that Lynn scored. He was actually thrown out at the plate. Davis with a fly ball hit back in the left center field, and that is gone. Number 2 on the year for Chris Davis, his second hit of the night, and the Brewers are within 2.
Yeah, Hamill tried to get him on the inside corner, and Chris Davis with those quick hands able to knock it out of here. There you go. On a 3-2 pitch. Fastball in. That's a nice easy stroke right there, and just jumps off the bat, barrels it up, and Davis making good contact with his head down and knocks it way back over that Brewers bullpen. Now Brewers are within 2.
Here's Gerardo Parra. He singled when Lind was thrown out at the plate to end the first inning. The Cubs outfield has 9 assists so far this year. It's the most in the National League. Only the Blue Jays in the big leagues have more going into tonight's play. Chris Davis plays long ball. Showing some good signs. He has driven in both runs tonight. Maybe he's starting to snap out of it.
Yeah, they need to get him going. They need to get this whole entire offense going. They've shown signs of life. Need to be more consistent.
The 1-0 to Parra. Slap to second. That's Addison Russell. That'll do it for the Brewers here in the 6th. But chip away, a solo blast off the bat of Chris Davis. He is now 2 for 3 tonight, and we are through 6 here at Miller Park, with the Cubs leading 4-2. Of 3, Brewers and Cubs. Cubbies leading 4-2. A little earlier, we had our Carsoup.com trivia question. Which 3 current Brewers also played for the Chicago Cubs? And your answers are right there. Ramos Ramirez, Neil Kotz, and Matt Garza. There's Matt. See him on Sunday afternoon on the mound for the Crew. He's pacing himself, getting ready for Sunday. Intense as they come when it's his turn, but sit back and relax a little bit tonight. Chris Coughlin will lead off, 7, 8, and 9 in the Cubs order. Some news in the National League, tracking the Central. I mentioned the Reds rained out. Cardinals lead the Pirates 8-5. They're in the top of the 9th in Pittsburgh. Cardinals continue to play very well here early this season. There's a ground ball to second. Jeanette, no problem, 1 out. Cardinals tonight, though, are playing without Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, how about that story?
Looking at the story at MLB.com, he's been held back in St. Louis with what manager Mike Matheny is describing as a diagnosis of extreme fatigue. Came out of Sunday's game, was feeling lightheaded, then came back and played the next 3 games. But apparently he's been dealing with dehydration, accelerated heart rate. So
nothing to you got to take that stuff very seriously.
Carpenter off to a tremendous start, among the leaders in average. It's a 16 multiple hit games that leads the National League. But he is out here for the time being. I'm hopeful that he can be back in time, as that team will have its road trip move on from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. Jason Hamill has 1 hit tonight, and Gene Segura with a nice play at short to take away another. 2 men out.
Guy can swing the bat, can he?
Yeah,
He's got an easy out at home plate. Hangs right in there and makes pretty good contact for a pitcher.
Two outs, bases empty for Addison Russell. First round selection by the Oakland A's 3 years ago. He was part of that Hamill and Samardzija trade. Cubs and A's making that swap last July 5th. As it turns out, the Cubs get Hamill back. Free agent signing. 0-2 the count. He has 10 strikeouts. Can he make it 11? Yes, he can. Jimmy Nelson, 11 punch outs, 7th inning stretch. Cubs up by 2. Hotel and Casino. 4-2 Cubs lead the Brewers here, bottom of the 7th inning. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with AYSO, the world's largest soccer club. Go to ayso.org/play to find your region and sign up for your fall team today. Time for the home team to get things going. Chris Davis in the 6th inning with a solo homer. He's driven in both of the Brewers' runs. 4-2 game here, as Martin Maldonado will lead off against Jason Hamill. We'll see Maldonado's night at the plate. Hamill threw 6, has struck out 7, has walked 3. A home run by Davis, the Brewers' first hit since the 1st inning. It's the 1-1. Bouncing ball to Castro. 1 out. Elian Herrera will stroll to the plate.
Yeah, another good outing for Jimmy Nelson, except for that 3-run 4th inning. Made some mistakes with the fastball, and Cubs made him pay. That's what the Cubs do. They get into those stretches. They can swing the bats. They will strike out a lot, but they're going to hit some home runs this year.
Anthony Rizzo and Jorge Soler homering in the 4th. Solo for Rizzo, 2 unshot for Soler. Has given the Cubs this lead. 11 strikeouts for Nelson.
Pitcher spot on deck.
Little check swing that fouled off the foot. Herrera feeling that a little bit. Or maybe more than a little bit. Always easy to say from the seats. Only hurts a little.
Yeah, like dropping a brick on your foot.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a baseball coming down on you like that. Got Juan Centeno on deck. The only left-handed batter on that Brewers bench right now.
One, 2 to Herrera. Got him swinging. So 19 combined strikeouts, 11 for Nelson, now number 8 for Hamill. So here's Juan Centeno. Started yesterday afternoon in the series finale against the Dodgers. Maldonado hasn't had a lot of time off. Matter of fact, just two games since the Lucroy injury. Now appearing in his 3rd game for the Crew is Centeno. Brought up from AAA back on April 21st. All this needed him with the Lucroy broken toe. Jonathan still in the process of recovering from.
Yeah, tough duty. Young kid, not getting a whole lot of at bats, and tough to stay sharp up there. It really is.
Facing a pitcher on a roll. Hamill's career numbers are on the modest side, but boy, as a Cub, the last year prior to the trade and off to a solid start this season. Been tough to deal with. Combined for the 10 wins last year, 2 as a 8 as a Cub. That matches career best. Had a couple of 10-win seasons with the Colorado Rockies, did Jason Hamill. There's a liner to 3rd, snagged by Bryant, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Hamill and the Cubs through 7 in Milwaukee. 8th inning here at Miller Park. Let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Kyle Loesch and Travis Wood, your matchup tomorrow. We'll get things started 5:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. His first look this year at Travis Wood, and now on the mound for the Crew is Will Smith.
Yeah, last pitch on Tuesday against the Dodgers, retired the only batter that he faced. Restrained a couple of inherited base runners in the 9th inning. 14th appearance for Smith, had 78 last year, and then earned run average at 2. 11 strikeouts in 9 innings, and off to another good start. He got off to a terrific start last year and doing the same thing again this year.
Mentioned in Brewers Live pregame about the effectiveness of that Brewers bullpen. It was especially the case on the last road trip. Smith specifically came in Sunday, the game that was tied. Jimmy Nelson pitched very well, but Smith came in with a runner on, facing Anthony Rizzo, and struck him out, kept the game tied. The Brewers ended up putting a couple of runs on the board in the 8th inning, and that held up. Combination of Jonathan Bloxton and Francisco Rodriguez finished things off. Top of the order for the Cubs here in the 8th inning. Dexter Fowler, switch hitter, turns around. He started the game with a home run to right center. Second homer of the year. Here's the 1-1. Four runs on 5 hits for the Cubs, 2 on 5 for the Brewers. Home run power for Chicago tonight. We mentioned Fowler, also Anthony Rizzo and Jorge Soler have gone deep. That was in the 4th with those two. 2-run shot for Soler. Smith ready with a 1-2.
That's a tough take for Dexter Fowler. Good job by him. And Maldonado wanted that pitch down and in. That's exactly where Smith put it, but Fowler able to lay off.
Now the 2-2. Fastball missed. Keep it close. That's the job here for Smith in the 8th inning. And that is well hit. Center field. Parra will have to run it down at the wall as Dexter Fowler, who can scoot, he'll cruise into second with a double.
No, that 3-2 pitch was set up by a good take by Fowler on that 2-2 count. He took that slider down and in. Smith gets a lot of swings and misses on that pitch. Finally on the 3-2 count, gives him one to hit, and he rips it into center field. So good patience by Fowler, taking a tough slider. Ultimately gets a good fastball to hit.
Fowler came in scuffling last weekend, had a hitting streak snapped at 7, and since that time was 2 for his last 23. But a couple of hits tonight, couple of extra base hits. Scooter Gennett have a little chat out there. There's Chris Bryant. He struck out twice, grounded to second. Smith will wheel it back to second, but Fowler gets back. A lot made of Bryant's patience at the plate, and rightfully so. And they were in a game against the Cardinals, walked 4 times. Uncommon patience for a guy known as a power hitter and all the hype surrounding him. He comes up to the big club. But
young kid coming up, yeah, very patient, but still can rack up the punch outs. I think the fact that he hasn't gone deep yet, no home runs, is starting to get into his head a little bit.
Seemed only natural that it would.
Yeah.
A guy who homered 40+ times in the minors last year and had the terrific spring. 2-0 pitch. Comes in the top 5, does Bryant, an on-base percentage at .435. Two and two the count. Bryant 0 for 3 tonight and 1 for 13 in this his 4th game against the Brewers. 8 strikeouts included.
Man, you got to be careful down in the strike zone to this guy. You're going to throw that slider, get it down around the shoot tops. Don't hang it.
Smith ready with a 2-2.
Yep, down there.
Hit the strikeout again for Chris Bryant, 3rd time tonight.
That's exactly where you want it. Having a difficult time against Brewers pitching. There it is, the slider. It's down in the dirt, and he can't hold up.
Out number 1 here in the 8th. The work far from finished. Now Smith will square off with Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo a solo homer in the 4th. Dexter Fowler a leadoff double and a strikeout from Bryant. Rizzo has faced Smith just 4 times, 0 for 4. Mentioned that big strikeout last Sunday at Wrigley Field. Smith still trying to keep Fowler close. See Segura shaded toward the bag, and Jeanette on the grass in shallow right.
Yeah, Rizzo not afraid to go in that direction either. Covers the plate very well. Another guy that likes the ball down.
As Brewer fans know, Will Smith can be tough on either right-handers or left-handers. Rizzo has proven formidable against lefties. He is 9 for 21.
It's because he hangs right in there. I mean, he doesn't budge. That front shoulder stays in there and doesn't swing it too many out of the zone. He's got a .455 on base percentage,
which is 3rd in the National League. Had a 32 homer year last season. And Fowler's on the move. Pitch taken, and a throw down to 3rd. Not in time and wide of the bag. So Dexter Fowler with his 8th stolen base of the year.
Yeah, pretty good play by Herrera to hold on to it. That ball goes down the line. Playing off the line. He had a long way to go on the move, and if that's a good throw, they get him at 3rd base.
Yep, on the other side of the bag, and it's right there waiting for the tag.
Yeah, of course, you know, Herrera had so far to go. It didn't look like he was going to be in position to make a catch anyway, or a tag.
Infield is in, and there's a little bloop that'll fall soft liner into right, a base hit. Fowler scores, and it's 5-2 Cubs. Rizzo his 2nd hit, his 2nd RBI of the night.
Well, about where you put these breaking pitches, and Will left that one up in the zone, and Rizzo able to hook it down into right field. Slider had the corner, a little bit off the corner, but upstairs. Get it down a little bit more, I think a different result.
The Cubs back out to a 3-run lead. Here's Miguel Montero. Slider in there for strike one. Montero, a double in the fourth, scored, walked in the sixth. For the record, Rizzo also has 7 stolen bases going into the game. That is already a high for him in his young career. Fastball missed, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, kind of a sneak attack for Rizzo.
Yeah.
You don't expect him to run, but gets down there pretty good. Picks his spots.
Couple of RBIs for him tonight to give him 17 on the year. Some work to do here for the Brewers. Jason Hamill has kept those bats quiet since the most part since the first inning. Chris Davis, a solo homer in the sixth. The Brew with just 5 hits. Here's the 1-2. Got him swinging. Second strikeout of the inning here for Smith. Here is Jorge Soler. Called up last August, got a taste of the big leagues, 24 games. Joe Madden has him in there, right field on a regular basis.
Have you ever seen a burger hole between first and second?
Rather large.
You got
sizable.
You got Linton holding the runner, Jeanette on the shortstop side of second base. Pretty confident he's not going to hit one there.
See how young Jorge Soler handles that. He's working inside. The fascinating part of this game, the defensive shifts.
Yeah, there it is, right? That's why they do it.
Yep.
I imagine those 4 hits are not grounders to the second baseman, more line drives out there.
So much talk about this, and the feeling is you'll probably see more of it before we see less of it, as much as it's multiplied and then by 3-4 times over the last few years across baseball. The 1-1. Bust him inside a little bit.
Yeah. Maldonado setting up inside, and Smith straightens him up.
Little welcome to the big league moment there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cubs with a run across here in the 8th inning. Rizzo, the runner at first. Waves at it.
Yep, up and in, then you soften it up a little bit, go with the slider.
Here comes the 2-2 in a moment. It's gone final in Pittsburgh. Cardinals have beaten the Pirates 8-5. They off to a start.
Yeah.
22-7 now. Now the 2-2. In the meantime, the Pirates fall 3 games below 500. Again, Smith ready with a 2-2 pitch. Good at bat for Soler, making Smith work for it. Back here tomorrow night. Series wrap up on Sunday afternoon. Garza and Kyle Hendricks. On Sunday, a 1:10 start. Count full now on Soler.
And now you figure Adam Lynn's going to go behind the runner. At least normally that's what you see. Maybe they might hold the runner because they don't think he's going to hit it that way, and don't give Rizzo a big head start. Yep, that's what they're going to do.
Struck him out. Will Smith gives up a run, strikes out 3 to the bottom of the 8th. 5-2 the Cubs.
Bottom of the 8th, down 3. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. And one guy we're going to pay a lot of attention to, Chris Davis. He's had a very quiet bat until tonight. And our Chris Davis, big Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game. RBI single, Davey, and also a home run.
Well, that's right. It was good to see him hit the ball out of the yard because they're going to need him to hit some home runs. And he started the season off pretty good, hitting just singles to right field, and now he's starting to use the whole field again, and that can be very good for Chris Davis.
We'll get inside the clubhouse here from Craig Counsell and see if the Brewers can get a rally going here. Gene Segura to lead off. Matt?
All right, Craig Davey, thank you very much. As on the mound now for the Cubs is Zach Roskup as we look at Gene Segura. Wendy's at the plates. Single in the first, and then a fly ball and a strikeout since. Segura had an infield single to lead off the home half of the first. A little chopper, that's Addison Russell, quickly up throwing in time, out number 1.
Yeah, Roskup last appeared in the game on May 4th at St. Louis, gave up a run on a couple of hits in an inning of work. Overall, pretty good numbers for the left-hander. One of 3 left-handers in the Cubs pen. A 169 earned run average. He's allowed just 1 home run and more strikeouts than innings pitched. He was called up from AAA on April 14th.
Roskup was part of the trade the Rays 4 years ago that brought Garza from Tampa Bay to Chicago. He is now on in relief of Jason Hamill. Hamill's 8 strikeouts he recorded tonight, a season high. Scooter Gennett looking for his first hit. Brewers have just 5 hits, 4 coming in the first. And the other knock since then was the Chris Davis homer in inning number 6. A quiet night for those Brewer bats.
Yeah, except for that first inning, right?
4 hits there, and the inning ended on a play at the plate.
Only 1 run, 4 hits, 1 run, and a walk.
Yeah, double play, ground ball. And then Gerardo Parra singled, but Adam Lind, trying to score, was thrown out at the plate by Chris Coughlin. 2-2 the count to Jeanette. Big inning to this point has been the 4th when the Cubs scored 3 times. 2-2 pitch. The Brewers can get some base runners here as Jeanette has worked the count full.
Yeah, good opportunity for Scooter to show his manager that he can handle left-handed pitching. I think Craig Counsell perhaps might be making a commitment to see if he can do that.
Here's the payoff. A little chopper that Roskup has to wait for the high bounce, but is able to make the play. 2 men out. And now here's Ryan Braun. Let's take a look at the Powerball home run leaderboard. Adam Lind with his hot bat here of late, able to pass Braun and reestablish the top spot, but Braun has 5. Ramos Ramirez a late scratch tonight with 3. Chris Davis getting home run number 2 here tonight for the Crew.
Yeah, Brewers coming into play, tied for 7th in the National League in home runs. All of a sudden starting to hit a few, and got off to a very slow start with the home runs this year.
It took quite a while to get into double digits, but they have picked up the pace. And Braun with a smash into right center field, a base hit, and that's up the gap. Braun on his way to second with a 2-out double. That is the first double here for Braun, the first extra base hit that is not a home run for Brawny.
And doing what he does best. I mean, waiting back and just driving one into the gap out in right center. Got that good right field stroke when he's going well. 1 for 2 tonight, a couple of walks. And keeps the Brewers' 8th alive.
So a chance for Adam Lind with Braun at second. We'll see with the 6 homers and the 17 RBIs. Leads the team in both categories. Lefty versus lefty. Brewers trying to make a little noise here. Down 3 in the 8th. Lynn coming into this game versus left-handers. It's 5 for 17. Overall average now at .333. Now there'll be a little chat. Miguel Montero and Zach Roskup. Jason Hamill went the first 7, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 8.
Craig Counsell has his lineup staggered pretty well with right-handers and left-handers in the batting order, and make it a little bit more difficult for Joe Maddon to get the matchup that he likes.
2-0 pitch coming. Fastball in there. Roscup didn't have a lot of appearances last year with the Cubs, 18 games, but did have some control issues. Walking nearly a hitter an inning.
Might be his last hitter anyway. You got the hard-throwing right-hander up in the bullpen. That's Strop out there.
Pedro Strop getting loose, and the count now full on Lind. That is Pedro Strop. He of the mid-90s and sometimes beyond fastball. Full count to Adam Lind. Braun the runner at second. And now the tying run will come to the plate.
That's a good at-bat for Adam Lind.
And here comes Joe Madden, and he's going to call for Pedro Strop right now. So the Brewers, after Segura and Jeanette were retired, they get a double from Ryan Braun, and Adam Lind works Zach Roscup for a walk. There's a little something going here for the home team as we'll take a break with the Cubs leading 5-2, but the Brewers are threatening. Is Pedro Strop now on the mound for Chicago?
Yeah, he lost back-to-back outings on Sunday against the Brewers and then Monday in St. Louis. Charged with 3 runs Monday night. Did not retire a batter. He's got that earned run average up to 4.38 in appearance number 16. So he has been worked quite a bit so far early in the season.
Here are your runners. Braun at second, Adam Lind at first, and here's Chris Davis. There's a couple of hits, including a long ball tonight. Starts with a strike, and let's go back to that 6th inning. Chris Davis showing signs that he is breaking out of his slump. He singled in the first to drive in a run, and a solo shot his last trip to the plate.
Tried to come in on him, and he turned it around.
Strop with a 1-strike pitch. There's a line drive to right. Soler reaching out. Can't get it. It's off the wall. 1 run scores. They'll hold Lind at third. Runners at second and third. And Chris Davis with his 3rd hit of the night.
Yep.
A run-scoring double.
Getting hot. Yep, he's getting hot. So he's got a base hit to center, a home run to left, and now a double to right. Fastball up out over the plate. And rips it over the head of Soler, and the Brewers in business with the tying run at second base. This all started with 2 outs and nobody on. And Chris Davis in with a double.
That's a Chris Davis we were seeing those first couple weeks plus of the season. Takes that pitch the other way, and now 2 on for Gerardo Parra. 1 hit in 3 trips. Base hit here could tie the game.
Yeah, Strop has had his problems as of late. Giving up some runs.
Brewers got to him in the 8th inning Sunday at Wrigley Field. Parra holds up. So the wheels turning here. Both teams now with 7 hits are going to go ahead and walk Parra and deal with Martin Maldonado.
Really no options for Counsell because he's already used his other catcher. Nothing but right-handers on the bench.
Juan Centeno is already pinch hit. The Brewers manager limited options, and now Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, of course the former Brewer.
A scouting report on Maldonado. Martin likes to attack early. If Strop gives him a fastball, Maldonado, one of those guys that likes the ball up in the zone. But Strop can get it up there, 96, 97.
Strop has only faced Maldonado 1 time, retired him. Brewers have him loaded now. Big chance for Martin Maldonado. And there's the situation that Maldonado has in front of him.
Another example of how Joe Madden kind of goes against the book, putting the go-ahead run at first. A lot of managers wouldn't do that.
Take his chances on Maldonado here, who's hitting just 158. See if he can get into one here against Pedro Strop. The 1-0. Chopped foul.
Yep, 95-mile-an-hour fastball that Maldonado able to pull.
Well, you see what he has done with the bases loaded. It happened 3 years ago against the Padres. The slam. $38,000 plus at Miller Park. Looking to see if Maldonado can come through in a big situation. Pedro Strop ready with a 1-1.
Yeah, that's the equalizer for Strop right there. That big breaking ball. Well, you feel you go up there as a hitter, you're looking for that big fastball in the mid to upper 90s, and he drops that one on you.
Now you figure he might try to buzz one about letter high, perhaps.
Yeah. Put one in the dirt.
A ball, 2 strikes to Martin Maldonado. In the dirt.
And that slider down, but Montero able to block it. It's kind of a prerequisite to be a major league catcher. You got to be able to do that.
This all-star catcher can do it very well. Bases full of Brewers. Home team down a couple in the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Pedro Strop keeps a 2-run lead for Chicago. presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. 5-3 Cubs lead the Brewers. You see the Crew getting a run there in the 8th inning, but left the bases loaded. Pedro Strop able to strike out Martin Maldonado. But you're still going to have a good time at Miller Park.
Got him dancing, didn't it?
Yes,
bases
sir.
loaded.
Brandon Kinsler now on the hill for the Brewers.
Yeah, just got called up today. Got roughed up down in the minor leagues. 7 games. Earned run average over 6. But he did hold Pacific Coast League opponents to a .227 batting average. Did not allow a home run. Last year went 3-3 with a .324 earned run average in 64 appearances. There you see the numbers for Brandon. Taking the roster spot of Rob Wooten. He got sent down to the minor leagues.
You mentioned the 64 appearances last year, 71 2 years ago. A very good ERA of 2.69. Now trying to keep his team in the game here. Starlin Castro will lead things off. Big inning to this point, the top of the 4th, and the Cubs scored 3 times, getting home runs from Rizzo and Soler. Brandon Kinsler back up with the big club.
Kinsler's got that good sinker. He'll throw the slider. Gets a lot of ground ball outs when he's going right.
Jimmy Nelson started. He went 7. An inning from Will Smith. Gave up a run in the 8th. 2-2 the count to Starlin Castro. And there's a drive deep to left. And the Cubs lead by 3 again. 4th home run of the night for the Cubs.
And no question really about any of them. I mean, they've been blasts.
Yeah, no cheapies by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep, a 2-2 pitch. Middle to end part of the strike zone. And look at Starlin Castro. When he makes contact, he knows it's gone. Second deck here at Miller Park. Been feast or famine for the Cubs, pretty much.
8 hits, 4 are home runs. There's Chris Coughlin. Fouls it off his foot.
And 13 strikeouts, right?
Yeah.
But they've made the most of the hits that they've been able to get.
And the Brewers' trouble of allowing the home run ball continues tonight. They are on a pace they would rather not think about.
Right.
2 strikes and nothing to Coughlin.
Yeah, Jimmy Nelson gave up 3 home runs tonight. He only had allowed 1 in his previous starts.
And that's a rope. That is a foul ball. Cubs losers of 5 of 6 coming into this series. Brought the lumber into Milwaukee. Brewers scratched out a run in the 8th, missed an opportunity, left the bases loaded. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Oakland tonight, a strikeout, a fly to center, and a ground ball to second. Here's the 1-2. Got him swinging. Well, the parade of strikeouts continuing between these two teams tonight. Pinch hitter coming up for the Cubs, Matt Caesar. Brought up a couple days ago from AAA Iowa, his second stint with the big club this year. Caesar from Villanova University was a two-sport college standout. Baseball and football. Was an All-American, as a matter of fact, in football. In the championship subdivision, that's 1AA. They won the national title. Played for it in 08 and won it in 09. He was a very good receiver. Thought, there were those who thought he could have maybe been drafted by an NFL team. But there's other sports working out okay for him too.
Yeah, 6 feet, 200 pounds. A lot of consonants in that name. 2 Z's, a U.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Could do a little bit of a lot on the football field. Could carry the ball, wide receiver, good kick return man. This year in the Cactus League had 5 home runs. Count is full. The Cubs get another home run here in this inning. Starlin Castro, his 3rd of the year. Back to a 3-run lead for Chicago. There's a comebacker. Stabbed by Kinsler. 2 out. So Addison Russell steps in. Hitless in 3 trips. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. And a little chopper. Tough play. Herrera bare hand throws wide of Lind. And now Russell will turn and dig for second. And he is in there. Tough play, Herrera. Then now it gets away from Kinsler, and going to third on a complete breakdown now is Addison Russell.
Good bare hand pickup by Ilian Herrera, but not able to get much on the throw. And by the time Scooter gets to it, you see Scooter a little bit late getting over there. And he's busting it in foul ground now. And picks it up, a little nonchalant flip over there, and doesn't get it to anybody. Nobody's looking at it. Unfortunately for Scooter, that's going to be an error on him. But Ilian Herrera and Brandon Kinsler weren't even looking at the throw. Didn't even know he threw it.
Yeah, error on Herrera, error on Jeanette.
Well, that stuff looks bad when that happened.
Yeah, it does.
And really no reason for Scooter to throw the baseball, but once he did, he had 2 guys that could have picked it up.
So a big breakdown defensively here, and now we'll see if Kinsler can get out of further trouble. The Cubs already with a run in the inning. Dexter Fowler at the plate. Up until that at bat, both teams had played errorless baseball tonight, but the Brewers commit 2. Russell now at third. Fowler is homered. That's how he led off the game and doubled his last at bat. Stole third and eventually scored on a Rizzo single.
And the offense has been pretty well spread out for Chicago up and down that batting order tonight.
Yeah, including Jason Hamill, the pitcher, who has singled.
Only 2 guys that haven't reached yet. Chris Bryant and Coghlan.
Give Russell a infield hit and then 2 hours on the play. 3 balls, 1 strike to Dexter Fowler. Cubs now with 9 hits. Brewers have 7 and they have stranded 7. Kinsler with a 3-1. Runners are at the corners. Well, it's what you fear here because Chris Bryant has been so quiet. 0 for 4 and 1 for 14 against the Brewers. Everybody knows how good he is. Struck out 3 times tonight. Now struck out 29 times in 71 big league at bats.
Yeah, you can't make a mistake on him. Kinsler starts him with a slider off the corner.
Bryant without a homer, but he has driven in 13 his time with the Cubs. Double-A and Triple-A last year. He combined a homer 43 times and drove in 110.
Yeah, when he came up, he was a cleanup hitter. Joe Maddons moved him into the 2 spot, trying to get him going.
The 1-1. Old bouncer to Segura. The play will be at first, and it is in time. Close. Cubs may contest. Bang, bang play at first. And there's going to be another look here.
Yeah, they want to review it. Oh boy, going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be very close.
What do they say? Tie goes to the runner.
Yeah. It's that old line, right?
Right. Let's see. Yeah, I think this might be turned around.
Yeah. Bryant may get the infield hit here. Replay review. If it's overturned, a run will score. Russell was on at third. So the Cubs a challenge here. And if it's overturned, it'll be a 7-3 ball game.
Well, they're showing it on the scoreboard, and Cub fans are thinking it's going to be a base hit. The players are watching it on the scoreboard, and they have not left the field, so that gives you an idea what they think.
Right. So if in fact this is overturned, it would be Bryant's first hit of the night. And it would be an RBI infield single. But we'll see if there's enough evidence back at headquarters to warrant this call being overturned. And again, it's taken a little bit of time.
Umpires are looking at it at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And, here we go.
And it is overturned. So Bryant with an infield single. Addison Russell scores. And that makes it 7-3.
And now you're in real trouble now. You got Anthony Rizzo coming up. Neil Kotz is getting loose in the bullpen, and it's Rick Kranitz on his way out and not Craig Counsell.
See if Kinsler can get through the rest of this inning. It started with a Starlin Castro home run, as you see Neil Kotz warming up. After the leadoff homer from Castro, Kinsler retired the next two, Chris Coughlin and pinch hitter Matt Caesar.
Kotz has been throwing a lot. He did not pitch a couple of days ago, but he pitched yesterday and the 2 days before that. So they prefer not to have to use him.
And here's Rizzo. Homered and singled. He's driven in two. Let's see if Kinsler can get through this inning here and get through this hitter, Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo's on base percentage, top 3 in the National League. 2 for 4 tonight. And a ground ball that Segura will tap the bag at second, and that will do it. And the Cubs pick up a couple of runs, and they lead by 4 in the ninth. Bottom of the ninth we go at Miller Park. Cubs tacking on a couple of more in the top half and now lead 7-3. Matt Caesar, who came on as a pinch hitter, will stay in the game and play left. And on the mound, their closer, Hector Rondon.
Yeah, picked up a save against the Cardinals on May 6th. A scoreless inning, gave up a hit in an inning of work. 6 for 7 in save opportunities is Rondon. In appearance number 13. Has not allowed a home run. A hard-throwing right-hander.
Elian Herrera will lead off the bottom of the ninth inning. And Rondon starts him off with a mid-90s fastball. Home run power for Chicago tonight. 4 of them. Jason Hamill in line to get the win. It would be his 3rd in 4 decisions. Jimmy Nelson gave up 3 homers, but he struck out 11.
Going to make Hamill 6-0 against the Brewers.
Yeah.
Got their number, that's for sure.
Had a 2.20 ERA. Winning his first 5 decisions. Last year in his 2 starts at Miller Park, he did not give up a run. Full count to Herrera, beginning the home half of the 9th inning. All right, there you go. Stack some base runners here. Lead-off walk for Elian Herrera.
And make the closer work. See what can happen here. Well, your job here is to figure out a way to get the tying run to the plate. So far, so good. Number 8 hitter on base.
So now Jason Rogers will come in to pinch hit. Appearing in his 14th game with the Brewers. He's had 3 starts. He's had opportunities. He has made good contact much of the time. Pinch hitting chance now in the 9th inning.
Got a quick bat. I mean, he's not afraid to take a rip up there at the plate.
3 for 10 as a pinch hitter is Rogers. Facing Hector Rondon. The Brewers in the first inning had 4 hits, a walk, but managed only a run. In the 8th, they scored a run, but left the bases loaded. Stranded 7 so far tonight. There's a ground ball to Castro. Whips the second one, and that's all they'll get. Also unable to unload is Herrera helping break it up.
Yeah, good play by Castro. No way he gets a play at first base. Couldn't get enough on the throw, but very quick. In and out of the glove and able to get the lead runner.
1 out, 1 on for Gene Segura. Getting in the leadoff spot tonight. Keeping Carlos Gomez out. Looking to get him back this weekend. Seeing a little hip issue, but he'll be back. If not tomorrow, then Sunday for sure. Brewers unfortunately tonight with a couple of more starters out, with Gomez not available. Ramirez also a late scratch.
Lucroy on a DL,
yeah.
So it makes it difficult, you know, and makes it tough on Counsell. Try and figure out a lineup. Brewers have used a ton of different lineups so far this year.
Yeah, it has been a different one pretty much every game. They have also make, what is that count now?
29 out of,
yeah.
Right.
29 out of 30.
Yeah. Trying to find something. Find the healthy bodies, and a combination is going to be scoring some runs.
2 balls, no strikes to Gene Segura. Rondon, little control issues here in the 9th inning.
Yep, closers in non-save situations. A lot of times you see this.
They like that increased pressure.
Yeah, that adrenaline going, you know,
yep.
It makes a difference to some of these guys. But you know, a lot of times you throw a 4-run lead, maybe a 5-run lead to get some work. Give up some runs, and that's those count on the earned run average. Just the nature of the beast.
Brewers trying to stack some runners here. 3-0 pitch. Jeanette on deck, followed by Braun. And the Brewers have 2 runners on.
Yeah, 1 more base runner, bring Brawny to the plate. Make things interesting. Braun, Lynn, Davis. Here comes Chris Bosio. He can't be happy.
The Cubs bullpen is middle of the pack. You're looking at ERA 3.76 coming in.
And Rondon had only walked 2 batters in his previous 12 appearances.
A little meeting at the mound here. This would be a one-sided affair as Chris Bosio gets the word across.
I tell you, he's not afraid to light you up from time to time. He is a big-time competitor. He was when he pitched, and he is now when he's head coach.
The Brewer fans well remember Chris Bosio. And he sends the message to Hector Rondon. Here's Scooter Gennett. In search of a hit here tonight. Double play ground ball in the first, grounded to second in the third, line to right in the fifth, comebacker in the eighth. Good cut and fouls it back. And a chance for the Brewers to make this really interesting here. With a 4-run deficit, yes, but 2 runners are on. Ryan Braun's waiting on deck. And there's a line drive to right and right to Soler.
Yeah, didn't even have to move, did he?
Not at all.
Tough break. Hit it hard.
Brewers down to their final out. Here's Ryan Braun. If we can extend it, you have Adam Lind waiting. Jason Rogers off the bag at second. Segura at first. Braun doubled his last trip. That was in the eighth. First double of the year. And there's a fly ball hit back into right field toward the corner, and it is gone. 3-run shot. Ryan Braun in the ninth, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, a couple of walks, a home run, and the Brewers now down by a run. Just does tuck this one inside the foul pole. A 3-run shot for Brawny, and we got ourselves a ball game. First home run allowed by Rondon this year.
And he messed around, walked a couple. And suddenly the Brewers are within a run. It's number 6 for Ryan Braun. He and Adam Lind now share the home run lead. All right, here we go. And a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Rondon. How about back-to-back? Why not?
How about a bloop then a blast?
Even better. The ball, 2 strikes to Adam Lind. Singled in the first, 2 fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to left, and a walk in the 8th inning. Rondon with a 1-2. You have Joe Madden, who started this inning with a 4-run lead. A Ryan Braun 3-run shot, and the game's still on. If Lynn can get on board and give Davis a chance. 2-2 pitch coming. Out of piece. And replay on at Miller Park. Again, the 2-2. Here's a line drive, base hit. And the Brewers are still alive. Tying run on, winning run coming to the plate.
And you probably get a pinch hitter for Adam Lind. That was a nice at bat too. Fastball out over the plate. Not Well, started with the walks for Rondon, and that one right down the middle. And look at Lind. I mean, he's just stroking the baseball right now.
And here's Chris Davis.
Well, it wasn't exactly a bloop, but it's a hit, now the blast.
There you go. Hector Gomez, the pinch runner. A liner and now a blast. Davis has homered tonight. Solo shot in the 6th. He has 3 hits. 3 for 4 is Chris Davis. Rondon with a 1-0.
It's going to be awfully difficult for Gomez to score on anything that stays in the ballpark as deep as that Cubs outfield is right here. I mean, they are way back trying to cut off those gaps. Gomez with terrific speed.
2 balls, no strikes to Chris Davis. Ground ball in the hole, base hit. Hector Gomez stops at second. Tying run at second, winning run at first.
He stayed on that with another breaking pitch. Able to find the hole in the left field. Now the winning run on base. A slider, and Davis able to get it just out of the reach of Starling Castro, and the inning continues.
There's Bosio working the phone.
Yeah, hot pitch count's getting up there, isn't it? 26.
There's Jason Mott and Phil Koch getting loose in a hurry. There's Gerardo Parra. Singled in the first. You see, walked intentionally in between a couple of ground outs. 1 to short, 1 to second. A strike to Parra.
Outfield shortens up a little bit, opening up the gaps somewhat. So if Parra's able to find one of those gaps, the Brewers might win this one. Davis runs pretty well.
Davis the runner at first. Hector Gomez at second. 0-1 pitch. Four-hit night from Chris Davis keeps this game alive. His 3rd career 4-hit game. 1-1 to Gerardo Parra. Did he hold up? No. Parra's got to walk it off.
Yeah, got to relax. Looks like it could have gone either way. Dan Blean with third base umpire rings it up.
Parra's had some big hits here in the last week and a half. Ball 2 strikes. Tying run at second. Winning run at first. The pitch. Good one here at Miller Park. First of 3. Brewers and Cubs. Brewers have put 3 on the board so far in the 9th. Here's the 2-2. Couple of walk-off hits for Parra in his career. See if he can add to it here. Struck him out swinging. And the Cubs hang on. Brewers score 3 in the 9th, but unfortunately strand 2 more and leave 9 on base here in the game. Well, the Brewers battle, but home run power from the Cubs